Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jed Joling here with eXp Realty in Southern Oregon, and it's Tuesday, October 17th. Crazy how we're flying through this month already, but just like we have the rest of this year, it's going by quickly. We're going to jump into the market here and give you some stats on what's going on here with our market, and then we're also going to go over a couple of payment scenarios just in case you're curious, but you don't really know. So a couple of payment scenarios on what it would look like to buy a $400,000 home at today's interest rates. So we're going to jump into this week and what we are looking at right now for the market stats. So today, between Jackson and Josephine counties, we have 1,129 actively listed homes in the residential category. So those are single family homes. In comparison to where we were this time last year, we are down just 4% on that number, where we were at 1,178 this same date last year. New listings last week, we had 95 new listings between both counties together. We had 87 go pending, 61 closed, and 24 off the market due to expired or canceled listing contracts. In comparing that to the 4-week running average, we are just down 1 on the new listing count, up 2 on the pending count, down 15 on the close count. And if we take those same numbers this week and compare them to the same week last year, we're down 1% on the new listing count, up 6% on the pending count, and down 34% on the close count. So really, the close category is our only noticeable difference this week in comparing to the 4-week average and to the same time last year. But for whatever reason, we did have a much less number of closes this week than we have been seeing on the 4-week average. So taking the 4-week average close counts at 76.25 closes a week, and we'll divide that into our active listing count. That gives us 3.4 months of inventory currently on our market. Interest rates, once again, are high and staying high. So conventional 30-year fixed rate right now, the national average is 7.92% today. The FHA 30-year fixed national average is 7.34% today. A year ago, that conventional rate was 7.12 and that FHA was 6.63%. So they've still gone up quite a bit from where they were a year ago. Still talking about mortgage rates here. So purchase mortgage applications are down 19.3% year over year currently, and the refi mortgage applications are down 8.8% year over year. I looked at the chart, goes back about 30 years, to see where we are in the realm of volume of mortgage applications altogether, purchase, refinance altogether. And we just hit a low that we haven't seen since August of 1995. And ironically, in August of 1995, interest rates were also just under 8%. So definitely haven't seen the mortgage rates or the mortgage application volume that low in a very long time. But it's an interesting thing to note that they were also just under 8% that same time in 1995. So now I want to take you through a couple of payment scenarios, and these are rough payment scenarios drawn up just basically off of a few things here. So a $400,000 purchase price with a conventional loan at today's rate, 7.9%, 20% down on this payment scenario, $2,500 in annual property taxes with $800 in annual home insurance would bring you to roughly bring you to a payment of $2,600 a month. Now we'll take that same purchase price of $400,000 and purchase that with an FHA loan at 7.3%, today's national average rate, but we're only going to do 3.5% down, the minimum down payment on that. With the $2,500 in annual property taxes and $800 in annual home insurance. Again, these are estimated. You're only putting down 3.5% on this one, so you are going to have to pay for mortgage insurance. So that's going to be, we're going to say $160 a month. And that will vary, of course, on how much you put down, your credit, price of the home. That scenario puts you at a payment of $3,082 a month. And if you're curious, what would you need to make for that $3,082 a month payment? Using the 36% rule, meaning if the lender could use 36% of your gross income to put towards your mortgage, and you had no other debt that fouled up any of that calculations, you would need to make about $103,000 household income for that to be a possibility. And in our other scenario where our payment was $2,600 a month, using that 36% rule again with no other debt, you need to make about $87,000 a year. And this can vary. Some lenders are willing to go higher. 36% is a common number that lenders will stick to. Some are lower, some will go higher. So you got to figure out what's best for you. If you want to go higher, can you afford that? Are you comfortable with that? That's between you and your finances. But in comparison, these these two payment scenarios at today's rates, from and comparing them to a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, where the rates were at 3%, these payments are pretty much each just about exactly $1,000 more per month because of that difference from a 3% interest rate up to a 7.5% or almost an 8% interest rate. So the difference there, $1,000, I mean, that can be a few things. That can be as simple as a couple of car payments to make up that difference, or maybe a student loan, or some credit card debt and some car payments, or something, some mixed payments altogether. So you really, in this market, unfortunately, with the higher interest rates, to buy a home, need to prioritize. What do you need? Do you want to keep renting, have some newer cars with payments, or do you want to have some cars that are paid off and still be able to buy your own home? Of course, I encourage home ownership. I enjoy it. I think it's a great way to gain equity over time and to gain wealth over time, rather than renting and paying someone else's mortgage. I always recommend buying a home. So that's a wrap on this market update. Hopefully that's been informative for some people that are possibly thinking and wondering what would it cost to buy a $400,000 home. Always open to questions too. If you want to reach out, I have great lenders to tie you in with that can answer these questions as well. And that's their job, so they're probably going to give you a little bit more accurate numbers than I would. But I like to try and help where I can as well. And if I can get the ball rolling on somebody who's been thinking about it, then I'm more than happy to help. So that's all I've got for today. Everybody have a good rest of the week. Enjoy the sunshine while we still got it. And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.